In today's video, we will be looking at the significant settlements of Tasmania's south. This is Tasmania's southern towns. A sawmill was constructed on the eastern bank of the Esperance River in around April 1871 by William Henry Andrew Walther. In mid-1876, the community applied for a school to be established, and a cottage at the sawmill was reserved for a school. Ramsey Post Office opened in June 1888. The post office closed in May 1894. A horse-drawn tramway was built in the late 1890s. A steam locomotive replaced the horses from 1913. During World War I, the population was listed as 140. Most of the tramway closed in 1954, and the last section, which ran from the wharf to the mill, closed in 1974. Ramsey was gazetted as a locality in 1966. Strathblane Post Office opened in May 1857 and closed in December 1859. The school closed in 1879 and Strathblane Post Office reopened in February 1884, closed again in February 1886, and reopened again in September 1893. A Congregational Mission Hall opened in 1889. During World War I, the population was at 83. Strathblane was gazetted as a locality in 1966, and Strathblane Post Office closed in August 1973. Whaling stations were established at Hythe before 1829. Hythe was the name for the area for a while. There was a probation station by 1846, and the population was allegedly at 51 in March 1851. By 1853, the population had reached around 250. Southport Post Office opened in May 1857. Hythe was proclaimed on July 3, 1866. By 1877, there was a sawmill, a hotel, a church, and about 400 to 500 inhabitants. The post office was renamed Hythe in June 1895. The population during World War I was listed as 378. Hythe Post Office was renamed Southport in July 1969 and finally closed in May 1974. The Hastings area was originally referred to as Southport Narrows. The community began to form around March 1872. Hastings Post Office opened in 1875, and by 1877 there were 200 people, a sawmill, a school, multiple stores, a recreation ground, and a cemetery. The population reached 250 by 1885. A Congregational church was opened in 1882. Hastings Post Office closed in 1968. Loon River was originally a sawmilling settlement that began to form around January 1902. Loon River Post Office opened in 1902, and there was a school and a hall by 1904. A new school opened by October 1936. The population peaked in 1938 at 36. The last sawmill closed in 1973, and Loon River Post Office closed in 1993. Ida Bay as a township began to form around 1885. Ida Bay Post Office had opened by 1894 and was transferred to Loon River in 1902. Fires destroyed many structures in January 1898. The Ida Bay Railway was established in 1919, and the settlement had mostly faded by the 1930s. The Prina Post Office opened in 1891. By 1900, the population had exceeded 100, and there was a school, a hall, a post office, and a store. A church had opened the year prior in July 1899. The Laprina Hall was destroyed by a fire in March 1935, and the sawmill closed in August 1938. A fire destroyed most of the town in January 1939. A Congregational Mission Hall opened in 1889. Catamaran Post Office opened in 1890. The population had exceeded 100 by 1900. There was a school, a store, and a sawmill by February 1915. The town was completely dead by 1950. The township of Ramsgate began to form around 1821. Ramsgate was used as a pilot station between 1836 and 1851. Many Crown land allotments were offered for sale in the 1850s and 1860s. Ramsgate Post Office opened in 1857, and the 1861 census recorded the population as 102. The population was at around 60 in 1877. The 1891 census listed the population as 134, and the 1901 census recorded the population as 130. Ramsgate was renamed Cockle Creek in June 1969. Thanks for watching today's video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.